Lovely. All right, we'll go get started. Governing board meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. Can we all stand for the flag salute? Ready, begin.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let it be noted that all governing board members are present. And we'll go to approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
A motion.
I'll second.
So there is nothing on the closed session calendar, so we still want to move into closed session afterwards? Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Approval of the minutes from the September 27th, 2021 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second. And I abstain.
And I got Ms. Ahmad second, and we have 4-0-1. Thank you. Hearing session, the audience may request to address the board on an item on or off the agenda per board bylaw 9323. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the governing board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board limits the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. The total time allowed for public comment shall be 30 minutes. Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, we have one public comment card. Susan Mercier.
Hi there. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Susan Mercier. I am one of the veteran special education teachers here in Buena Park School District. I've served as an RSP teacher within this district since 2005. For the past 14 years, I have worked with students at Buena Park Junior High, now Buena Park Middle School. That being said, the special education staff at Buena Park Middle School would like to recognize Dr. Justin Sherrill for his leadership by sharing the following letter tonight. Dear Dr. Miramontes and members of the Buena Park School District Governing Board, as a collective group of special education professionals, those of us who work with students with special needs at Buena Park Middle School would like to recognize, celebrate, and thank Dr. Justin Sherrill, Coordinator of Special Services at Buena Park School District. While special education services have included numerous challenges within the Buena Park School District in recent years, Dr. Sherrill has consistently supported our efforts to serve the needs of our students. In fact, he has gone above and beyond to support all schools' site-based team needs while serving in this capacity for the district's special education professionals and most recently, directly supporting the SDC mild moderate program transition at Whitaker. As middle school colleagues, we often have unique issues and truly appreciate Dr. Sherrill's knowledge of special education related ed code issues, professionalism, diligence, guidance, and continuous support. Whether it be challenging IEP team meetings, an administrative present during collaborative IEP meetings, parent communication, student and behavioral support strategies, program visits, new teacher support, service provider coordination, high school and elementary transitions, responding to never-ending questions and scenarios, or simply connecting the dots, Dr. Sherrill can be counted on. He plays a vital role in making our jobs not only more manageable, but more meaningful. As a result, we are better able to address the varying needs of our students and the document-related demands of our roles. Finally, we are thankful that he treats us as professionals while maintaining ethical boundaries. He demonstrates respect fairness, honesty, and true collaboration in authentically addressing issues and navigating difficult decisions. His knowledge and dedication to the ideals and application of special education services provide a solid foundation of trust and team building, which enables us to move students with special needs forward within this district. Sincerely, Susan Mercier, Jenny Mango-Carey, Linda Milano, Laura Cruz, Megan Vanderlist, and Annette Aylesworth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mercier. That's it for public comments.
Thank you for that. Moving to governing board comments. We'll start with Ms. Castaneda.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great afternoon, Monday week, start of the week. It is week of the administrators, and I do want to thank all of our administrators from all of our schools. I don't want to brag, but I'm going to brag. I feel like the Buena Park School District has the best administrators. Our students and staff are blessed to have them. They work hard, not only Monday through Friday, but on weekends, nights, afternoons, days off. Probably even take time from their families, to provide the best for our schools and for our students and our staff. So I just want to thank them. Also, I'm excited and look forward to tomorrow's Whitaker tour. I'm going to go ahead and tour Whitaker School tomorrow. So that's always exciting, walking through all the classrooms and all our SDC classrooms since they've been relocated there. So it's going to be great to see everything. And I think Ms. Shedd will be with me to that day tomorrow too. So that's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Then Ms. Shedd.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am also excited about the Whitaker tour for tomorrow. I am wanting to say thank you to all of our school administrators because, you have to be a jack of all trades. We count on them to be our eyes, our ears, our hands, everything, and our mediator between our families and our students and ourselves. And so we really appreciate all the hard work that takes to do their job well. And I think they do their job well. So I want to thank them for that. And I wanted to share also the visit that we had with the alternative school. We were able to observe some special ed classes, and some of them were in transition while we were there. And I was so impressed with how smoothly it flowed. Sometimes when people come in and you're in transition, it's difficult to keep the kids engaged, and they were engaged the entire time that we were there. So I was so happy to see that. And then at Emory, we saw the math classes, and I was really impressed at how we saw 3 different classes, and each teacher was using a different strategy to teach the same standard. And I was really blown away because the kids were so engaged, and they had them working in like groups. And to see the enthusiasm and the engagement was just so exciting for me. And I really enjoyed my time with both of those campuses. And the principals, gave us a warm welcome, and we appreciated talking with the teachers and seeing the students. And we even saw some parents. At Emory, I even saw there were adults who were directing kids in the parking lot, to get into class, into the gate. And everybody was doing such a fantastic job. And it truly takes a village. And I was so proud of everyone on our staff that I anticipate seeing the same wonderful collaboration at Whitaker tomorrow. Thank you.
Ms. Ahmad.
Thank you. I wanted to start out by just congratulating Dr. Justin Sherrill on that badge of honor that he just received. That's always great to hear amazing things happening. So I really appreciate hearing that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Also want to say happy School Administrator Day. And like Ms. Castaneda said, we do have the best school administrators. There's no, everyone knows that, I think, and we're really, really appreciate all the hard work that they do all the time. I wanted to give a foundation update. it was at our last meeting at the foundation, the Buena Park School District Education Foundation, that they voted that they'll be sponsoring the Superintendent's Cup, the Kinder Kindness Photography Show, Gate Super Saturday, and the Spelling Bee for this year
Fantastic.
up until January, and we might be able to sponsor some more events. So we're excited about that. And we were also able to give away 2 grants this year. And I'm not sure if the principals delivered them yet, so I won't say yet. But so we're excited to get things going and just, do more, help the district more and do a lot more for the students in our schools. I wanted to also bring up, I don't know who we need to, hear our voices, just maybe legislators or Orange County Department of Health, just to push for more COVID testing. I'd really appreciate, I know I talked to Dr. Miramontes about that, it's okay if we go above and beyond. And I feel like they put these guidelines for us as guidelines, but if we feel the need to do more, then we should be able to. And then if they could support that, obviously with, the tools to do that. I also wanted to thank all our teachers for parent-teacher conferences. I know that it was on Zoom again this year, and that wasn't really what I had hoped for, and I do know that some teachers did do it live, and I want to thank them for doing that in person. It just, sometimes we have to give a step in good faith for parents, because we're entrusting them with our kids, who are our more, the most precious thing. So it would have been nice to just have that step where, you could be in a room 6 feet apart, wearing a mask, and actually in person. I would have enjoyed that better, but thank you to whoever did give that option to parents, because I know not everyone wants it in person. Also, I just wanted to bring up something that I kind of named myself. I'm calling it the COVID crutch. I feel like sometimes we're doing things just because, or not doing things because of COVID. And I just don't want us to get caught up in that. We are canceling a few things and not a lot, just to always think, if this is possible to do, let's go ahead and do it. Because these kids, deserve every opportunity they can get. I don't want this year to feel like, worse than last year. So whatever we are still able to do, and it goes within the guidelines and everyone is safe, I just want to push for more of that to happen. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Frutos.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I just want to start off by acknowledging, it is Administrative Week, and all my colleagues have said everything I could have said, and I did all that, but we do have the best administrators in our district, and I really want to thank everybody for all their hard work that they do at all the sites. I also want to acknowledge it's Girl International Day. I'm blessed to be sitting around a lot of special educators here that I actually look up to, and I'm inspired by every time that I walk in at this district and when I stay here up at the diocese. So that's something to be proud of. And then also participated in the Buena Park Coastal College over the weekend. And I left very inspired because we had a lot of families there with their students, or students that are already in college that went to our district. So I want to acknowledge that, and I'm very proud of them. It was a great event, and I left very inspired after hearing Professor Tom Hicks speak his words of wisdom after his keynote. So he's a local community college professor, and he had a great message for everybody that was in attendance that day. And then also earlier today, we went and participated with the Fallen Four at the golf club with the Buena Park Police Department. That was a great event. President Chong was there. He told me he bought a lot of mulligans because he was so off course, but I couldn't participate, but I still went to show my support to the police department. So with that being said, I look forward to the rest of today's meeting. Nothing to report.
Thank you. I'd like to also thank all the administrators in this room and in our district for Week of the School Administrator. I know it's not just 1 week we want to celebrate you, but we do truly thank you for all your work. Same as our classified and our certificated, but really starts with leadership. And I know it's not easy during all these difficult times, and we really want to appreciate everybody for that. I know it's also not like always rosy and happy times, so I know it's been very difficult in the like we mentioned before, 6 weeks felt like 6 months. And I know coming back with SEL and behavior and academics, there's just so many challenges. And I want to acknowledge that, I face it in my work, in my district I work at, but here in our district, it's the same. But good to hear that. I know there are a lot of reports that our schools are doing the best they can. And I don't think it's even close to how crazy it can be in other places. So I do want to acknowledge all the hard work that everyone's been putting in, because academics, behavior, social, emotional, all of those things, it's like sometimes a year-long project. And I think what we're going through and what we're putting in place is definitely helping mitigate and support our students and families. So I just want to appreciate everyone's continued work. So even though we're going to, if we go through 6 months, would it feel like 6 years, I guess, logically, ratio proportions wise, but I just hope that everyone can keep energized and keep putting the good fight for that. So thank you for those that are doing all they can. I was at the Fallen for Buena Park Police Department's fundraiser today in honor of Rick Kolash. I have to wear this. I didn't fight it, but I'm glad I get to wear a polo and a shorts to our board meeting. He was on fire. I think retirement definitely suits him very well, because he was shooting like the lowest scores I've ever seen. I agree. Me, not so well, but it's okay. Once I retire, I think I'll get there too. But it was great to see our community out there and supporting just our heroes and just the support that they feel, and just everyone out there uplifting. It was great to see that. It was sorely missed over the year and a half, and it was great to be out there in person and getting to see everybody. Similarly, I was able to see our Beatty Broncos battling the Parks Panthers of Fullerton, and the Buena Park Stallions battling the Fissler Navigators. And it was great to see sports back. And I know that they're actually middle schools battling each other, and to see just the camaraderie of just students out there running and just being a part of just physical exercise, and also what team means. And so that was really good to see. We didn't win both of those, but they put a valiant fight, and it was on our side, it was 6th through 8th graders battling some 7th and 8th graders. And it was really good to see just them stepping up and not backing down. And that's the grit we want to see in our students. So I really was appreciative to see that. And our teacher coaches were amazing. I was I had to cheer for Parks because my wife's there, and she's the coach. And if she lost, I would have felt it at home, but I was like split, but it was great to see everyone out there. And yeah, I just want to say, it's just grueling 4 weeks before our next break. So I hope everyone gets to stay strong. So thank you, Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank our parents and teachers for the collaboration this last week during parent-teacher conferences. It's imperative that we continue to work together to support our children's academic and social emotional successes. It's all new to us all over again, right? And so what we expected might not have come to fruition, but I do give our students and our teachers lots of credit. Lots of things are happening out there, and we're doing the best we can. Also want to thank Dr. Swift and Aaron France, city manager, for Buena Park Goes to College. It's a tremendous event every year. So thank you, Mr. Fruitless, for attending that. The opportunity to visit Pendleton School last week, and it was very impressed with the teaching and learning that was occurring in the classrooms. Our teachers and students are amazing. I want to thank our special education staff, as I was able to see the successes and some of the challenges that we face, right? Not easy, but our students have the dedicated and caring educators that I'm thankful for. And I know that with time, some of these behaviors, some of the issues that some of our students may have, will get better. And lastly, I want to thank our principal, Lorianne Leota, now in her 3rd month. Hard to believe, again, it's only 3 months into her school tenure there. And she continues to building on the strengths of the past and the traditions at Pendleton School. And it's moving forward along with their staff. They will be applying for the IBPYP primary program candidacy program. So they're going to be submitting here soon. She's going to make the announcement to her community out of respect for her and her community. They want to be the first before we put it out, do a press release as well. So that will be coming out soon. I also look forward to the visit at Whitaker School this week and both middle schools next week. Speaking of middle schools, we are seeing some normalcy there. Sports clubs, sports after school programs or clubs, and even dances are occurring at our middle school. Kids are get really excited about that. You can be on the campus during nutrition time or at lunchtime, and you see the middle school student enjoying themselves. So I want to thank our middle school staff. I know the 80 minutes, the double block is tough, right? But it's a great time to engage with students and really get to know them. And then lastly, I'd like to thank our school site administrators. This week is officially the week of the school administrators. On behalf of, it's been said already, the Buena Park School community, we want to thank you for all that you guys do. So thank you.
Okay, moving on to programs and reports, facilities modernization update. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, we have Mike Magbu that will present the report today. Mike?
Just an update of our facilities and modernization report. We're going to cover the project closeout, playground, baby walker update, and some of the architecture determinants and updates. So in today's consent calendar, there is a notice of completion for this project. So we are officially done. This project is 45-day grace period, but the payment, last payment is made for this company, and this facility is now our official. So thanks to Teleview and all the work they did, help this project close. Now we can start moving forward and doing the grand opening. All right, playgrounds. There was actually a really good showing on the walkthrough we had last week. We had 11 contractors participating on a job walk held last Wednesday. Project anticipated to begin around the 3rd of January, but it may come in sooner depending on what happens. We are going to open the bid on March 18th. So the plan is to install playground equipment at artificial turf at each of the elementary schools, 1 school per month. And we started at Emory with the walkthrough just to give the contractors a chance to look at what we actually expect to come out. So one of the things we're going to do is that all the playground equipment is going to be painted the same color, same scheme, including the swing. And then we're all going to put that turf and in place. And then the swing, wherever swing space is used, will also be covered as well. So baby locker room. Tonight you have the lease back and approval to grant Kayla's choice the lease back and agree to the guaranteed maximum price. Right. The GMP is a little over 3.8 million. All lease inspectors for document is submitted to the district and is reviewed by district staff. And Kayla's choice will prepare project schedule for the start completion date based upon the approval tonight. And the project term is expected to be 7 months. That is withstanding any DSA. Architecture update. Last week we met with UW about the new administrative building, and UW also submitted plans to DSA for the Corey and the Emory NPR, and are working to get the Whitaker and Gilbert NPR submitted soon, so we can do this project as one large project in the summer. We're also pushing UW to help us get started in the summer for the Pendleton admin building. In conjunction with some of these different plans, we have solar going in and out, so we're working with the solar department to make sure that one project is not encroaching on the other project. All right, NAC architecture contractor is doing the Whitaker curb field. We are meeting with them tomorrow, and hopefully we get some sign look like, bring it back to district and board. And they are also taking care of the baby walker road, which also includes expansion for the parking area. So they're the contractors or the architects for baby walking project. They you should receive the copy of this, and well, this is the copy of this is the same thing as last year, our last board session, but it's basically the timeline that we have.
I have a question. So are we now thinking to do 4 NPR upgrades next summer?
Yes, all 4 NPR upgrades are planned for.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're hoping,
Cheaper
yeah.
And more cost effective to get a cheap bid on that, and lowering price and be more competitive than you just have to do.
Yeah, along with the Pendleton front office as well.
Correct.
That'll be huge. Yeah.
Pretty,
And
yeah.
also for office, also put it in there.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot, but it's exciting things coming up and just also a huge congratulations to everyone. Cause I mean, we have a music room, you know, that's complete. I mean, so that's gonna be exciting too.
And we'll have a
Do
grand
the
opening.
grand opening.
Well, yeah, we'll have a ribbon cutting, I should say, not grand opening. It's already been open and kids are grand in there. And we heard them
Yeah,
sing,
but I
right?
mean,
We
yeah.
heard them sing and they were fantastic. But we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony. We are we were looking at a plaque on the outside, but we want to make sure it doesn't. So we're looking at other options of a plaque on the inside of the building as well that will last us a little bit longer. Sometimes the plaques on the outside don't stay as long for different reasons. So we're looking at one on the inside. We'll do a ribbon cutting probably sometime in right around Thanksgiving, December time, when we are allowing visitors on campus, because I know that we've got city council members that would love to be part of that as well, and some of our other community partners, so that they actually see the great things happen at Buena Park Middle School. Any other questions for Mr. Magbo? Great. I want to thank Mike and Sandy. Sandy also sits at the table with TeleQR partners. And it's important because, you know, you have plans, but you also have to make sure that you're living within your means. So Sandy, thank you for all the guidance you provide there as well. Thank you, Mr. Magbo.
Moving on to California Dashboard Local Performance Indicator Report. Dr. Mermont.
Yes, presenting tonight with the California Dashboard is Mrs. Centeno, who our Director of Curriculum Instruction, Mrs. Centeno.
Here we go. Better? Good evening, Board President Young, members of the Governing Board, Superintendent Dr. Miramontes, members of Executive Cabinet, and guests. This evening, I'll be sharing information with you regarding the California Dashboard and the Local Performance Indicator submission for the 2021 school year. So this is a report that is submitted annually. And I'd like to share what we are submitting this year. Next slide. So just to begin with a refresher on the dashboard, the dashboard contains reports that display performance for school districts, school sites, and student groups based on a set of state and local measures to help us identify strengths and areas that we need to improve upon. The state indicators, as you can see on this slide, the priorities are priority 4, student achievement, which are SBAC and LPAC data. Priority 5, student engagement, which has to do with graduation rates for high schools and chronic absenteeism. Priority number 6, school climate, is a priority that applies both at the state level and here at the local level. So school climate for the state has to do with suspension rates. And here at the local level, we look at climate surveys. We'll look at that in a bit more detail in just a moment. Priority number 8 for the state is college and career, which is predominantly high school. And as you can see, as you know, we also have 2 other priorities. Priority 9, which is services for expelled students. And this applies specifically to county offices of education. Priority number 10 is also for county offices, and that has to do with coordination of services for foster youth. Next slide, please. So we're going to look a little more closely at the local measures tonight, because this is what we evaluate and this is what we submit to the state. So here on this slide, you can see an overview of the priorities that we evaluate here within our district. Priority 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. Next slide. So now we're going to really look in depth at each of the different priorities. So priority number 1 is basic services and conditions. And this is measured by meeting all of the Williams settlement requirements. This year, you might recall that both Whitaker and Pendleton were visited, and I am happy to report that there were no findings at either site, and we were completely compliant, and thus we met priority number 1. Next slide. Again, just looking deeper at priority 1, some of the areas that we report on include the number or percentages of teacher misassignments or vacancies. We have 0. The amount or the access that students have to their copies of standards aligned instructional materials for use here at school and at home. And again, there were no areas of findings there. And then moving on, there was also looking at facilities. So the facilities reports based on the SARC reports, which are published annually in February by the state of California. So part of our assessment here has to do with facilities reports. And again, we are in good repair across all sites. Next slide. The second priority that we report on, implementation of state academic standards. So here we are really looking at how our students are doing academically and how we measure that as a district. Next slide. Let's look at this a little bit more closely. So the evaluation tool, and I should mention that the tool that we use to report is State Board of Education approved. So we do need to use the tools that the state provides in order for us to rate ourselves and to submit to the state. So here you can see for implementation of state academic standards, it looks at the amount of professional development that we give to our teachers. Second, the instructional materials, once again, that we provide to our students and ensuring that they are aligned to state standards. We also take a look at policies, programs that we implement here in the district to support our staff, both teachers and administrators. We take a look at how well we have implemented Common Core state standards. And again, professional learning for administrators and teachers across our district. Once again, in this area, we have met all areas. Next slide. Priority 3, parent engagement. I have a passion for all of these, but I definitely have a passion for this area. So this is a critical element or area for all districts. And this is where we measure as a district our progress in seeking parental input and their participation. Next slide. So here for priority 3, parent engagement, are some of the data points that support our rating. And these come from our spring LCAP survey. And you can see that the percentages on some of these bullet points are quite high. So 99.4% of families feel that they are connected through Parent Square. 91.5% of families say that they were satisfied with homeschool communication. 93% satisfied with teacher and home communication. And 91% of families say that they receive information in their preferred language. So these are excellent percentages at any time or during any given school year, but especially during COVID. Next slide. So other areas that we looked at for parent engagement, you can see here we have staff, our family services support specialist, who does provide additional support and training for our parents. We have interpretation offered to our parents at meetings, both at the site level, at the district level, so that they have access to the important information that's being shared. We do have parent workshops in a wide range of topics. As a matter of fact, we had over 22 workshops between January and May of this past school year. And again, our parents are always encouraged to participate in advisory committees such as our LCAP steering committee, ELAC, DLAC, and school site councils. So we met this standard very successfully. Next slide. The next priority area that we rate ourselves on is school climate. And so this past year, we did administer the California Healthy Kids Survey to students across the district. Definitely Buena Park Middle School, Beatty Middle School administered the California Healthy Kids Survey. And on the next slide, we're going to see that we also administered another survey, which was Panorama. So the Panorama Survey was given in the fall and the spring last year to all of our students, TK through 8th grades. And it really was a way to measure the social emotional learning and student competency for our kids. And you can see some of the results. Student perception of being supported increased by 4% between fall and spring of last year. And student perception of how they felt or if they felt supported by a teacher or an adult at school rose by 6% overall. Something that was critical last year was surveying parents during COVID to see how they felt as far as our safety procedures. And of course, our parents had the choice to elect the best option for their student, whether that was coming back in person or whether it was to remain with distance learning. So we met that priority as well. Next slide. Our final priority that we rate ourselves on is access to a broad course of study. And this is specified by Ed Code for grades 1 through 6 and 7th through 12th grades. Next slide, please. Oops, we're already on the next slide. You're jumping ahead. All right, right there. Great, thank you so much. So here, this particular priority, basically we're looking at, do our students have access to a broad course of core content areas, which are English language arts, math, science, social studies, PE, and ELD. So we monitor this through the master schedule. We also, of course, offer our passion programs so our students can begin to really develop that college career pathway. Some of the barriers that I'm happy to say have been eliminated since last year. One of the barriers was for our ELD students. In the past, they had to lose the option of taking an elective because they had to take designated ELD. This year, because of the block schedule, that barrier has been removed. So that's definitely a plus for our district. For elementary school sites, many of the activities that were held sometimes do interrupt the daily schedule, but one of the ways that we strive to eliminate that is to make sure that all of the extra assemblies, activities are incorporated into core instruction. So that helps to remove that barrier. Next slide. Next slide. All right. I'm a little disappointed because I worked really hard on this particular slide. It was supposed to. So our local indicators for our district priority 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7, we have met each of these priorities, and that is what we're reporting to the state. And I say I'm disappointed because those little check marks were supposed to be here one by one as I presented to you.
We'll just imagine it.
Told me that was not possible with the PDF. So you'll just have to imagine that. But all of these 5 priority areas, again, the conditions of learning, the state academic standards, parent engagement, I can't read that 6th one from here, school climate, I should have this one right. And also a broad course of study, all areas have been met. Next slide. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I've been hearing about Panorama a lot, and I'm wondering how that looks for our students, since we're using it as like the gauge for their social emotional is it a question that they answer every day? I'm not sure. I don't
So,
know.
so it is a survey that is given to all the students.
Mhm.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that today because Dr. Cantu and her staff will be presenting the initial iReady results from the first baseline data we have and also the panorama data we have and next steps. I met with Mrs. Wong today and they've already identified which areas a student would need and they're working with the counselors and teachers with co-teaching lessons designed to meet the needs of those grade level spans. But we'll have a presentation at our next board meeting about Panorama,
Okay.
about social emotional learning, and on top of that, the data from the iReady first initial results. So
Okay, I'll wait
Thank you,
until
Dr.
then.
Miramontes.
absolutely, you're on top of it.
Yes.
Yes.
And just to add to that, it's very briefly, it's given twice during the year. It's given in the fall, it's given in the spring. For TK through second grade students, teachers fill out the questions for each student, very brief, the survey for each of the students. And then for third through eighth grade, the students take the surveys themselves. Thank you for asking that. And like Dr. Miramontes said, more on that to come.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Moving on to action calendar, approval of the cancellation of the November 8th, 2021 regular meeting of the governing board of the Buena Park School District. It is recommended that governing board approve the cancellation. Dr. Miramontes?
Yeah, I am. I'm asking you to consider canceling a regular board meeting and recommend a special board meeting dedicated to board self-evaluation facilitated by Angelina Pride from California School Boards Association.
Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Frios. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm an I, just as long as we have another one in its place, like we had originally said.
And we will bring that up for
Yeah.
discussion at the October 25th board meeting. We have that on the discussion calendar because it was 2 dates we're
Perfect.
looking at, November 15th or November 29th. So
Okay.
Aaron's already has that scheduled for discussion. Mrs. Sakamata has mentioned before, in our last board meeting, before we talked about this, a second board meeting needed. There's quite a gap. And we want to make sure we stay together and communicate and fill people in. So we're looking at November 15th or November 29th, the week of CSBA. That's on the discussion calendar for the 25th board meeting.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm asking, we are approving, so the cancellation and the special board meeting, is that what we're doing?
I mean, that's not how it's written, but are we
Yeah.
saying it so that?
That's what I was asking.
So we are approving the cancellation of the November 8th meeting and instead making that November 8th meeting a special board meeting for us to evaluate, self-evaluate. Is that agreed?
Cancel the November 8th meeting and then if the board agrees to call a special meeting.
That's right.
Okay.
We don't need to vote on that, you're
So we
saying.
don't need to go.
Yeah, we just need to vote on canceling, but we can do a special board later.
And that's why I keep Mrs. McPhillips around right next to me. Thank you, Mrs.
What will we
McPhillips,
do
for
with that?
clarifying that.
Thank you for that.
That was in my
clarification.
notes too.
It was approved 5-0. Approval of release of student demographic information for the early development index. Dr. Miramontes.
Yeah, the EDI provides data on how our children are developing in kindergarten. Our kindergarten teachers collect the data. And we need the data because we partner with our school readiness program partners from first five OC contracts out with UCLA for healthy children, families, and communities. They analyze our EDI and report back this. It's the basic demographic information, race, age, that sort of stuff that we would like to continue to partner. And only this year we will be using our kindergarten teachers. Typically, we do the TK students as well.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Thank you, Michelle. Do we
I'll
have-
second.
Thank you, Ms. Castaneda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Authorization to solicit requests for proposal qualifications for E-rate Category 2 network equipment and installation services for E-rate year 25 FY 2022. Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, since 1997, E-rate funding is available for all schools. I want to thank Mr. Magbu because since he's come on board as the CTO, we've been really maximizing the amount. We used to only apply for cell phone, I believe, back in the day. But last couple of years, since he's been here, we've been applying for every opportunity, Category 1 covers data and internet connections, and category 2 covers internal connections and hardware. Buena Park is eligible for approximately $758,000. So it's a smart thing for us to continue to do.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I think I heard Mr. Frutos first and then Ms. Castaneda second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Approval to award the guaranteed maximum price GMP contract and the Beatty Locker Facility leaseback agreements to TLS Choice LLC. I think this is what we just got a presentation on.
Correct.
So do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Ahmad. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Shed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Discussion calendar, job description of student and community services liaison, Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Harrison, who's going to talk about the community services liaison position that we're proposing. Mr. Harrison?
Good evening, President Chong, members of the governing board. Our district was thrilled to receive additional funding through a grant written by Dr. Simonovsky to support Project Hope, which is an acronym for Harnessing Optimism and Potential in Education. Grant funding will provide 2 part-time home and community liaisons in the Student and Community Services Department to assist with meeting the district goals that were based on our McKinney-Vento 2020-2021 needs assessment. These staff members will be working directly to support the immediate needs of families to leverage the community-based support services that are desperately needed by those in these circumstances. This grant will also ensure basic needs of families are met, increase the opportunity to find unidentified families, ensure connectivity and other areas of support are offered. Finally, this grant will provide targeted opportunities for homeless parent education, mental health resources, ensuring priority enrollment for childcare and expanded learning opportunities for homeless children. I'd also like to thank CSEA leadership and Chapter 569 members for their review and ratification of this job description. Are there any questions about the job description itself? Thank you.
Great, thank you. Then we'll bring it back for consent next on the consent calendar next. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. Moving on to consent calendar. Unless a trustee has a question concerning a particular item and asks that it be withdrawn from the consent calendar, the items are approved at one time by the governing board. Ms. Ahmad,
I have nothing.
Ms. Shed,
Nothing.
Mr. Frutos, Ms. Castaneda.
I would like to withdraw consent calendar item 12A, Personnel Action Report 21-2206, to have it voted separately.
Okay, thank you. Then do I have a motion to approve, a motion for consent calendar items 12B to 12M? Thank you, Mr. Frutos. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Shed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. And then do I have a motion for consent calendar item 12? Oh, I'm okay. Okay, was I going too fast? Okay. Do I have a motion for consent calendar item 12A? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Ahmad. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Frutos?
Yes.
Okay. And
I'd like to abstain due to the conflict of interest as I have a family member listed on the personal action report.
then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the motion passes 4-0 and Ms. Castaneda abstaining 4-0. Thank you. Moving on. Information and correspondence, major topics 2021, Dr. Miramontes.
Yes, on October 25th, we'll talk about the ESSER 3 expenditure plan. Give you an update. We'll give the board an update then. We'll also bring forward the discussion for an additional board meeting in November. And then November 8th, we've got the special board meeting on the board's self-evaluation.
Then going to closed session, conferences with Ramon Miramontes, Superintendent of the Buena Park School District, Labor Relations Buena Park Teacher Association, Labor Relations California School Employee Association, Chapter 569, Labor Relations Non-Represented Management and Confidential Contract Employees, Public Employee Dismissal, Discipline and Release. Do I have a motion to go to closed session?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ahmad. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Castaneda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0 at 5:49 PM. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All right, governing board, do I have a motion to reconvene?
A motion.
Thank you, Ms. Shed. Thank you, Ms. Castaneda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Governing board meeting convened at 6:44. Nothing to report out of closed session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
And I heard Mr. Fritos first and then second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Castaneda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Governing board adjourned at